Hi, hello, how are we? If you can't already guess from the thumbnail of this video, today I am going through and showing you all of my current crochet whips, projects, stuff that I've kind of shoved at the back of my closet and forgotten about, and I'm going to decide what I am doing with it, whether I want to keep it, carry on with the project, maybe frog it, I don't know. So we're going to go through and decide. I think I'm going to go in order of the smallest to largest project, or at least what I think is the smallest to largest project. So to start off with, I have got a cardigan I started and I never finished because I ran out of yarn, which, you know, is going to be a very reoccurring problem for a lot of my whips. So I started a children's Hexagon cardigan. So I did this half and I even finished and did all the ribbing on the cuff in this really gorgeous rainbow multicolour yarn. And then because I only had one ball of the rainbow, I was like, oh, I'll make it a kids one. And then I had one ball of yarn of this blue that was, apparently these were both DK weight yarn, but I feel like this blue is a hell of a lot thicker. And it was going to be a rainbow start on one side and blue on the other, but I ran out of yarn for this blue one. And at this point, every time I go back to this one to look at it, I'm like, I feel like the stitches and the density between the yarns is very obvious, that if I make that into like a cardigan, it's just not going to be very comfortable for whoever wears it. So I think with this one, I don't think I'm going to buy any more blue yarn to finish off this cardigan. However, I have got some yellow, like I recently just did like a sort through of like the yarns that I do have. Like in my last video I was mentioning how I used to just buy yarn for the sake of buying it. So I've got loads of small mini skeins of yarn, but not enough to do like large projects. But from sorting through my yarn, I know I have 2 balls of yellow, which will be more than enough to finish off another half of this. And I think with the yellow here, it will kind of match with the yellow that's in this rainbow cardigan. So I think rainbow on one side and yellow on the other side will be pretty cute, rather than this really chunky blue. Because like this blue, it doesn't really even have much drape at all to like the to the cardigan, whereas this one, like this one has a little bit. So yeah, I think I'm going to do this half, redo this half, but in a yellow at some point. I need to remember what yarn size hook, what crochet size hook I use, because I genuinely have no idea. But trial and error, I'm sure I can figure that out. So this one for now is going to stay in the whip pile, and hopefully I'll get round to it at some point. The next project I'm moving on to is I've got this baby blanket that I started and never finished, and I have actually got loads of the yarn for this, but I've been working on it and I'm not really loving it. It looks alright, but it's not really something I'm proud to say I've crocheted, to be fair. I genuinely started this blanket because I had loads of this baby yarn and I wanted to use it up, and I thought, oh, I'll just make like a wavy blanket, but I don't really love how it's come out. The pattern I used for this is a tutorial I followed by Tony Lipsy, I think is how it's pronounced. All of the tutorials or anything that I use to do these projects, I'll put it on screen and I'll also put it in the description. But I just think this baby blanket is very stiff, and I feel like the baby would be very, very warm. So it might be good for winter. Currently, I don't really know what I'm going to do with this one. I think it might be a case of it just kind of sits in with my crochet whips for a little while longer before I can decide, do I love it, do I hate it, am I just going to frog it? Because I'm still undecided, but I'm not a massive fan, so maybe you can give me advice. What do you think? I have no idea what else I can make with this yarn though, other than like amigurumi, but I don't really even like working with this yarn for amigurumi, so this is also just going to go back in the whip pile for a while. The next work in progress I've got is this mesh black jumper. I'm using a cotton DK yarn for this, and I've absolutely loved working up this project with the cotton yarn. I've been using, I think, a 3.5mm crochet hook, and I just think it's come out really nice. This is the front panel that I'm showing currently. So I completed the front panel, and then I started the back panel, and I ran out of yarn. But I recently actually ordered more cotton yarn after ages of trying to get some, because my shop where I normally buy it from didn't actually have any in stock. So I found it online, and I've started working on this again. So this is my current project that I'm hoping to get finished next. This is how much I've got done so far of the back panel. So this is going to have the front panel, the back panel, and then some sleeves. It's going to be kind of cropped, but I have done it a bit longer than a crop top, because I prefer it a bit longer. But I think this is going to be really cute when I finish it up, so I'm definitely continuing on with this work in progress. I think this will probably be the one I'm going to finish first out of all the projects I've currently got ongoing in my stash at the moment. So yeah, I love this one, and this project is really making me want to work with more cotton yarn in the future. So I definitely think we'll be picking up more cotton yarn or cotton yarn projects, maybe once I've tackled a couple of these ones. So the next project I've got is a calendar blanket that I actually started, I think, back in 2022, maybe 2023. I followed, this was the Tunisian crochet one by Jayda InStitches, and the year I made this, I decided I'd make two. So I've actually got the other one with me to show you. So this is the first one I did, which is, it's Tunisian crochet, but I did all of this, they're all different patterns on the square, and I did this in like a rainbow colour with like a white border, and I absolutely love this blanket. I don't really use it that often, but I think it is one of my favourites out of the calendar blankets I've done, because I just think all the colours really come together really nicely in it. And doing this one definitely helped me use up a lot of those like single skein balls I had in my collection. So this project is that exact same pattern, but I did it in black and red. I actually started the black and red one before the rainbow one, but I fell in love with the rainbow one so much that I rushed to finish that one before completing this one. What's put me off on completing this one at the moment is I have to buy more yarn to complete it off, but I don't overly want to, because the yarn I bought for this, I bought like those big 400 gram skeins of balls of yarn, and I'm just, I can't bring myself to purchase it. So I'm thinking with this blanket, how many squares have I got at the moment? So I've got 10 squares at the moment. I'm thinking with this blanket, maybe I just won't do the other 2 that I still need to do, because then I don't have to buy more yarn. And the 10th square I never fully finished anyway, because I ran out of yarn during that square. So what I might do is I might connect the 9 squares that I've already done in this one, and then make it into like a smaller blanket, because I used Aran weight yarn for this, so the squares are a lot bigger than the rainbow one that I used. So I think doing a 9 square pattern to make this into a blanket isn't going to be too much of an issue. It's still going to be quite big, it's still going to be warm, and then I also don't have to buy more yarn, so that means I'm saving money, and then I'm not going to end up with more yarn in my collection that I'm not going to use once I've used up that tiny little bit of yarn that I need to do to complete the square. I have had a lot of fun doing this project though, because it's definitely taught me a hell of a lot more stitches of Tunisian crochet. And Tunisian crochet is kind of like, I say it's like a mix between crochet and knitting, because you're crocheting, but you're crocheting on one big long needle. And it's really enjoyable. I would definitely recommend like following this pattern if you want to learn Tunisian crochet. I think the tutorials are really helpful, and they're really easy to understand, and it is a fun project. It was a fun blanket to make, especially when I made my rainbow one. I just need to kind of get this one done. So I think this one again will be staying, and I will be finishing this one, but I think I might just attach the 9 squares instead of buying more yarn to finish off the entire 12 project squares, because I have already finished this in the rainbow blanket. The last project I have to show today is the absolute biggest of all of the crochet projects I have currently ongoing, and I actually started this project back in, I think, 2021, and this is a mood blanket. So what I have done is every single individual flower represents a different colour depending on how my mood was for that day, and for a whole year I recorded my mood and I'd crochet along but then I really got behind and I didn't keep up with it. It's kind of like a variation of a temperature blanket, but instead of noting down the temperature, I noted down my mood to see what my mood was like over the entire year. I'm almost finished with this one. I think I've only got like maybe even like half a month or a month at max to completely finish it off, and I'll put like an overlay or something of this on my bed because this is absolutely huge that there is no way I could currently show the entire project in this frame. So it was probably just better for me if I actually put this up on my bed. The yarn I was using for my mood blanket project is Stylecraft Special Aran weight yarn, and the colours that I used for my project were khaki, duck egg, teal, empire, aspen, aster, Cornish blue, sage, denim, pistachio, meadow and cloud blue. And I made myself a little chart to keep track of what all the moods and what the colours mean. So this is how I kind of follow along to know what colour yarn I need to use depending on how my mood was for that day. I would really love to finish this project off because I have been working on this project for so long. Currently I can't bring myself to actually continue crocheting because of how big the project's gotten. Having it on my lap during the summer is just a massive no-no because it is way too hot currently to carry on with this project. But I think in the winter I'm definitely just going to try and get this finished because I think this will be a gorgeous blanket once it's actually all completed and it will fit across the sides of my bed. So that one again is definitely staying and I'm definitely going to finish this one at some point. Maybe be like another 2 years because what, 2021, I've had that project ongoing for about 3 years now, but I'm not giving up on it. I'm gonna get it done. So that is all my current crochet whips works in progress that I've got in my collection. Not gonna lie, a lot of them have just kind of sat in my craft cupboard waiting, begging to be touched again, and going through them has really made me like want to kind of finish them. So I'm definitely going to get this jumper finished as soon as I can because I really think that'll be an adorable jumper to wear throughout the summer, and I really want to get my mood blanket done, but I think that's more of a winter project. A lot of these projects I am hoping to finish them. The baby blanket one with the fluffy yarn, I'm still undecided on that, so let me know what you think. And if you are a crocheter or a crafter, let me know in the comments how many crochet crafting projects, works in progress you've currently got ongoing. I think I had 5 in total, which is definitely a lot better than what I used to, because I know I used to have like 10 ongoing at a time, which isn't bad, but I also know my brain just forgets about them if I have too many. So the fact that I've only got 5, I'm actually quite proud of that. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, give me a like and subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye!